right, go for it.
Okay. Welcome, Madam Toastmaster and guests. What is synchronicity? It is objects, individuals, emotions, dreams, events with similar vibrations that resonate with one another. By tapping into the world, the inner world of the self, the more real it becomes rather than the outer world. Everyone is born with a potential in searching for new information that is waiting to be opened for them. I always believed in my heart that the universe had a wealth of information. My story starts with living in an ordinary life that always brought me something unexpected, wonderful events on my path. From running into different teachers, readers, astrologers, unusual trips, experiences with dreams. What I what I was about to see was synchronicity, coming when I least expected. This started back in the early 1960s and 1970s and on, not realizing that this was going to start me on an adventurous new journey into the next stage of my life. One day I met a girl who asked me if I wanted a reading by someone who was clairvoyant. She had visions of the future. I said, of course. She was so sweet, little old lady, and we became the best of friends. She gave me a message and said, your mother is sending you a special teacher. And she gave me her name, and it was Rose. And she said, this is going to change your life in a different direction. Well, I said, okay. So I continued with what I was doing in my daily life. I was the horses, the friends, the travel, the art, and etc. Until one day, a few months later, I forgot all about this. An astrologer said, would you like to come with me to a new club downtown called the Theosophy? Not knowing what it was, without hesitation, I said yes. Now remember, here comes the synchronicity. It is important not to hesitate on answers or, or it will be gone. Should I go? Should I wait? Do it later? It doesn't work like that. So the two of us went downtown to the huge conference. My friend introduced me to many people in the group. We started to sit down, and she says, oh, wait a minute. I forgot one more person. She said, I want you to meet Rose. Well, my eyes were as big as saucers, honest to God. I had gotten chills down my spine. And when she said her name, it all came back to me, the reader telling me, meeting about this teacher. I just knew it was her. I felt it. I observed her, and she was very calm, very peaceful. She had a strange look in her face, as if she was reading my soul. I went up to her and started to talk to her. She said, not too much, but then she started to ask me questions. I knew she was seeing me in a different light. As I spoke, I was inspired by her. From that point on, she did become my teacher and friend. And almost that night, and also that night, I dreamt of seeing her in a white robe. When I woke, somehow I just knew this was going to change my life. I was very nervous. This sounded like a commitment. Remember, I called for this. Here I started for 30 years with her, traveling with her as well as she had classes also. I can't tell you how many spiritual experiences walking the path with her. She helped me in many messages to keep me on the straight and narrow. This was difficult because it meant I had to change my ego thinking. She was clairaudient, where she could hear the messages, and she had the ability to bring out the best version of our souls. It was not going to be an easy task because I had to leave the past in order to forge with the new one. Something must die so something new can emerge. So many years went by, and with her teachings, until one day she became ill and she passed away. I was lost without her. She was my mentor for so many years, and after she died, I tried to find something with the same teachings, and there was nothing. As I went through the dark night of the soul, what I was told, you start on one road and you begin another road. I had to let this go. So for many years, I kept looking and could not find anything. I was so alone. That's when I changed my attitude. Again, I asked for help, for an honest spiritual intent, just to hear that good answer. That meant I had to let go of my teacher. When one door closes, another one opens up. I got up early one morning and was going, which I hadn't been in, I don't know how long, to the Unity Church services. And afterwards, I started to leave, but something caught my eye. I'm looking down the hall and I see a stand with all these brochures. The first thing I saw was the Course in Miracles with Marianne. When I saw her flyer, it really piqued my interest. Seeing that book, my goodness, which was what my teacher had. Wow. I knew this was it. Somehow I just felt that push. I must do this now. I called for Marianne and started her classes, and glad I followed my mind. The more I opened my heart on this new adventure, then the more new classes came up for me. So again, one more final synchronicity. Someone was talking to me and they mentioned that there was a class called with Toastmasters. I asked Miriam, and here she started on me, with me, another adventure, and brought me into Toastmasters. And now here I am, learning self-confidence and working, delivering speeches, which I really need. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Linda. That was lovely. And I think these concepts of synchronicities are something we have to be open